What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 31 of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying your week, your wrestling week, depending when you're listening or watching this on YouTube Live. I am Josh Lopez. You can follow me on Twitter at Notorious Joshi. We do this show, we record a show every Wednesdays around noon Eastern, so if you guys are watching this live, I appreciate it. You could be part of the conversation, hit us up in the chat room, in the YouTube live chat room, and we'll appreciate your support. Make sure to follow my good buddy Ronnie Starks, who's joining me on this adventure this week of Wrestling Talk. He's at Twitter at Starks Wrestling. You guys should know him by now. Me and him have done like over 20 shows already with each other. So me and Starks have been good friends. Starks has been in the business. I appreciate his perspective, and we got interesting back and forth, especially when you guys seen us do our like TNA live reaction shows. So anything can happen. I'm glad he reached out to me and said if he was off today. So he said if you wanted anybody to come on the show, he was open to it. So I appreciate that. Ronnie, what's going on, good brother?
Nothing, man. Just woke up trying to get my bearings straight. Yeah, I'm ready for this shit. Let's fucking do this. Yeah.
Likewise. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to see our ridiculous mugs, you can subscribe to the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast as well on iTunes. That's the best way you can get it. I mentioned this on Facebook Live before I went on air today that I'm going to be implementing some new like production elements to the show. So I'm going to do like a little pre-intro and outro for each show now. And who knows, maybe eventually I'll bring back the Michael Cole interviews that I remember when I was doing the old Pro Wrestling Experience show. I used to add the Michael Cole interviews because that was a key part of character development. And a lot of people miss out on those interviews. Those like one of the few good sit-down interviews the company actually did. So maybe I'll implement those after a while, but we're here to have some fun. It's going to be another fun show as always. I'll be talking about Raw for Charlotte, of course, this past Monday. I may talk a little bit about the AEW Windy City Classic that I went to a couple days ago. I always get not a refresher, but I guess you could say a refresher of why I enjoyed this. Like when you go to independent wrestling shows and you're in that intimate environment, and it's something totally different than the glitz and glamour of all the other wrestling shows that we watch each week. It's a fun experience, and I'll talk about that on later on in the show. We'll talk about 205 Live that debuted last night, depending when you are watching or listening to this, and make some predictions for TLC, which is coming up on Sunday in the racist cities, Dallas, Texas. But that's neither here nor there. Guys, really quick, this is very important. I know there's been a lot of crazy shit that's been going on the past couple days. First, I want to send my condolences to those involved in the Ohio State shooting that was going on a couple days ago. What was going down in Tennessee? The Brazilian soccer team who unfortunately passed away in the plane crash the other day. There's been a lot of bad stuff, and honestly, I just want to send Mike well wishes to those people that were affected by that crazy lady that was ranting and raving about Trump at a Chicago Michaels store. There's just a lot of crazy stuff and negativity that's spewing around this country, and hopefully, and that's one of the main reasons why I do this show, just to get you guys' minds off of things like that, and just to understand that you can still laugh and you can still have a good time despite having a bunch of fucking retards out there having no sense in the entire world. So, all right, let's do this shit. Shall we?
Yeah.
Ronnie, before we get into Raw, what's on your mind as far as wrestling-wise this week? It's kind of weird. Usually during the fall season, everybody's like, oh my God, can't we just get to the Rumble already? You know what I mean? But it seems to haven't been like that recently. I mean, I thought Survivor Series was good. I think TLC is going to be interesting. We'll talk about that obviously later. But are you enjoying what's going on so far? I mean, obviously we got the dumb TNA stuff that never goes away, but are you enjoying what you're seeing so far?
Yeah, man, everything's been really good. I can't really complain about anything other than the Goldberg Brock Lesnar thing. That's pretty much it. But like 205 Live is amazing. I think the regular WWE crowd is finally getting behind the cruiserweights. After last night, it seemed like it. But you know, when you got Jack Gallagher doing his thing, you know, it's fans are like, he's awesome. But yeah, Raw's been really good. SmackDown's been really good. NXT is always good. So I'm not in any hurry to get to the Royal Rumble or to take my fat ass down to Florida for WrestleMania. I'm not too worried about it, man. I'm just kind of taking it week by week, you know?
The fun part about this, brother, is that I'll be joining you in Orlando at Mania this year. This will be a lot of fun. For me, I agree, dude. There's lots of stuff I'm enjoying. I'm particularly enjoying Lucha Underground a lot. I mentioned this a lot on my show in the past that Lucha may be my favorite promotion in all of wrestling right now, besides obviously WWE because that's what I grew up with. But Lucha's been killing it. Season 3's been off the charts. You know, it's kind of fun being in the position to do these play-by-play pieces for like the CWC or what happened last night with 205 Live, or even do something like Final Battle this Friday. It brings me out of a different element in a different bubble, and I'm still enjoying these matches and these performers. And and we all talk about that in all these different type of shows. Variety is good, and just because you cover or watch one particular different brand, that doesn't make you the proper wrestling fan. Because you still gotta have competition. I never believed in that crap anyway. Really quick, before we get to Sasha Shark, because obviously that's the main part of what's going on with Raw and stuff. One of the main things I took away from Raw, there's 5 things positive that I saw. Just things that are heading towards roadblock, and I think are going in the right direction. First off, Sami Zayn interaction with Mick Foley over the past couple weeks has been very interesting, to the point where people are asking, is Sami going to be traded to SmackDown now? A lot of people said that Sami Zayn and Cesaro and Neville and those type of guys should have went to SmackDown in the draft, but now it's a story where you actually have talents now sticking going after Mick Foley besides Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. You know, it was always Owens and Jericho ripping on Foley. Now you have other guys on the roster who are actually, whether it's kayfabe or not, are kind of being not, I wouldn't say being held down, but they're not as featured on Raw as heavily as those other guys. So I enjoyed the interactions going on between Sami and Mick Foley. Ronnie, what was your thoughts on it?
It was great, man. I really like Sami Zayn, and I just really hope that they do something great with him. And that promo, it was basically like, all right, well, Sami's pissed, and Sami wants more opportunities, but WWE isn't letting him do anything, so he's getting all mad about it. And it's great. And I really hope it leads to something bigger by him going to SmackDown and him getting opportunities over there, or them actually doing something with him on Monday Night Raw. And I know there's that 3-hour format, and they're trying to jam everything they can in there in 3 hours. But if you put Sami on SmackDown, the possibilities are endless.
I was thinking about this over the past couple of days because, you know, Mick is telling Sami that, you can't handle fighting Strowman, right? So that's the story, right? So he's like, Strowman's too big, he's a monster, and it goes back to like his stuff is work with Kevin Owens in NXT, where like, okay, obviously there was a different element because they were like best friends and they traveled around the world with each other, but still, Kevin was presented as the monster that Sami couldn't beat. I just wonder, and that's probably the reason why he's snapping at Mick, because that's kind of dumb for Mick to say that Sami can handle punishment when he was just coming out of a feud with Kevin Owens. You know what I mean? So I agree too. I want to see what's going to happen. If he goes to SmackDown, fine. Me and Adam talked about this before the draft. We thought it would have been better for Owens and Zayn to be in separate shows when the draft originally happened. But who knows? Maybe that'll happen after a while. So, PPG paints Arena is the humble abode of Roadblock, end of the line, coming up in a couple weeks in Pittsburgh. It's the last pay-per-view in Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken, was the Royal Rumble. Did I get that right, Ronnie?
So that was 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, just about 3. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Pittsburgh crowds are kind of interesting to me because, Ronnie, you go to a lot of shows and you could explain this better than I could, but usually on Raw you have more casual people there, and then pay-per-views you just got a bunch of drunk, angry assholes from Philly who are pissed that the Eagles still suck, and then you got the hardcore Pittsburgh fans at the same time. So it's a big congregation on pay-per-views. Do you agree with that or no?
No, I do. There tends to be fights between the two when they come to town. So it's like when we go to Philadelphia and there's fights. There's no. Just clash, man. There's no I'm trying to think of the word here. There's no peace between the two cities because we hate each other so much. But as far as I'm concerned, they can stay 5 hours away and we can keep our area. So,
do you have a favorite show that you've went to?
I went to the King of the Ring in '95 in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
That was one of my favorite ones. So, but.
Was that the one Viscera or King Mabel one?
Yes. Against Diesel, right? Yeah, Diesel and Mabel, yeah. I had to think about that for a second. Because they did 2 King of the Rings in Pittsburgh. They did that.
Yeah, they did the 98 one.
And the 98 one, yeah. And that was Mick Foley and Undertaker, because I went to that one too.
Nice. That's cool. Man, Chicago's been getting the job as far as pay-per-view quality is concerned. Well, here's the thing, though. The pay-per-views have been good. It's because the crowd has made those pay-per-views good in Chicago. I should rephrase that. We've had a gazillion paybacks. We had Extreme Rules last year. It's just been the Payback Extreme Rules party in Chicago for the last 4 or 5 years. Thanks to my favorite wrestler, CM Punk, we probably won't have another Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We've been doing the job. But it's funny. They're doing something really interesting for Christmas this year. They're doing both the Raw and SmackDown on back-to-back nights live in Chicago at the Christmas this year, which should be a lot of fun. I'm actually looking forward to that. I might be at both of those shows, actually. But going back to Raw, here's another thing that stood out to me. The opening segment between Jericho and Roman Reigns. Everybody talks about it. Jericho could even be a candidate for Superstar of the Year just for the work they've been doing together. Or who I don't think it would even be an argument for people if they want tag team of the year. You know what I mean? They just been killing it with each other. When you talk about the partnership between Jericho and Owens, there's so many different ways they could go with this. A lot of people may expect this feud to culminate at WrestleMania. And it's actually one of those long-term stories and friendship type of whatever you want to call it, that would work for that long storytelling. And I wonder, I'm pretty sure Fozzy is gonna have some touring soon. And it's crazy, Ronnie. Jericho came back in January of last year, and he's been here every week, every pay-per-view this past year. And I think sooner or later, Jericho's going to start touring again, so I don't know if the breakup's going to come up at the Roadblock and they'll just have their blow-off match at the Rumble, or they'll actually fight at WrestleMania. for you, Ronnie, where would you rather see this clash happen at?
I'd rather see it at WrestleMania. I think the thing is Jericho is actually going back on tour in January, is what they're doing. So I don't know. I'd like to see it go the whole way to Mania, but if it happens in the Rumble, it happens in the Rumble. I think the official breakup will happen at Roadblock, and then they'll do their little thing, and then it'll happen at the Rumble. Either way, they're so great together, man. Owens can mess up just a little bit, and Jericho will be on it. Then you have Roman Reigns, who's just on it too, and they're just giving him shit. And it's great, man. I love their promos together. It's so amazing.
Yeah, and it's always funny where Jericho's like just this close for putting Roman in the list, and the crowd is waiting for it, and then he just does the right thing as a bad guy. It's like, nope, we thought we were gonna give you the bone, but it wasn't gonna happen. Oh, is that how you feel, Roman? Yeah, speaking of Roman, I thought he played his part well too in the opening segment as well. The guy's getting better as the months go by. It's crazy the guy hasn't been fighting for the title since Battleground, since the Shield did that three-way match, right? So it's always weird, especially when it comes to the New Year's. We always go back to the routine of, oh, here we go again. Here we go. Let's get our freaking flamethrowers out because it's time the Roman Reigns season. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, there's so many different things now, and factors that could go into WrestleMania this year as opposed to last year, which they were dealing with a lot of injuries, Ronnie. So I'm not even considering the point of the fact that Roman will be the last match of that Mania next year, to be honest with you. Because you got something between Goldberg and Lesnar again. You have Triple H and Rollins, probably, right? And you have Owens and Jericho. Cena versus The Undertaker has been one of the main ones people have been talking about as like a dream, like attraction match for WrestleMania this year. Hell, man. I wonder if it's just going to get to the point where it's just, I don't know. I got an idea I want to pitch to you, Ronnie.
Okay.
You know how they used to do Raw versus SmackDown matches at WrestleMania, just like one-on-one Raw versus SmackDown matches? Like, I remember it was like Batista and Umaga. How about this? How about Roman fights Dean at WrestleMania?
I mean, it gives them both something to do at WrestleMania. And it wouldn't be bad.
Exactly, and we still haven't had one-on-one Ambrose and Roman pay-per-view match, which is kind of crazy, to be honest with you. But it's an idea. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on that in the chat room as well. All right, part 3 of talking points here when it came to this week's Raw. You got New Day trying to smash, pardon the pun, Demolition's tag team title reign and let the poor people from the 80s get off their member berries. New Day defeated the club due to heel shenanigans. Woods now pulling tights. I mentioned this on warm-up the other day. The story, and it's going all back full circle now, where the people who were trying to spread power and positivity are now kind of trolling the fans in a way with their matches now. So they're going to cheat hook or by crook so they can get this record, and it's going to force the fans to turn on the New Day. And it's kind of one of those organic things that are actually happening week by week. I see more people are getting more and more pissed off with New Day. So I like where they're going with that, actually. It's something a little bit different with New Day.
Yeah, dude, I agree, man. I love the New Day. And, like, I just started noticing their heel tactics, too, after you said that. And, like, he grabs the tights, and that's how they win. And I just love antics like that, man. Like, they're going to be funny heels. They're not going to be, like, heels, you know? And it's really hard to hate a funny heel.
Yeah, especially today. And I could go back to this is like, people are like, "Oh no, the New Day is getting stale and stuff." It's like, you guys wanted them to have the tag team titles, so make up your mind. The bad thing when it comes to the club, and I'll say this. Would I wish they've had a different presentation out of the gate than what was happening? Sure. Would I wish they were on SmackDown with AJ? Yeah, they'd probably be in a better position than they were right now. I thought the whole stuff with the comedy was what it was. I wasn't crazy about it, to be honest with you. I'm sure nobody else was either. But I just found it hypocritical because I really thought the aura and the attraction to the Bullet Club, at least for Gallus and Anderson are concerned, is because of that Talking Shop podcast they did with each other, where that was all comedy and shenanigans and tomfoolery. Well, obviously it's kind of different because they were allowed to swear, and Gallus would do his Howard Finkel impression, which is dead on perfect. I can't do a Howard Finkel. I can do other impressions, but I can't do the Howard Finkel. But but I can see where people are kind of getting frustrated with where the club are right now. But I'll say this: they are on TV each week, and they're not getting demoted to. What's that show? Superstars every week. Sometimes when you can tell a company doesn't give a shit about you is when you're on Superstars each week and you're like kind of on and off Raw each week now. So Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, the primetime players, etc., etc. The Shining Stars, my Puerto Rican douchebags. And I can say that, folks, because I am Puerto Rican, so don't hit me with the racist comments, crap. You know what I mean? I can rip my own guys. That's basically what their gimmick are. They are douchey Puerto Rican guys from the suburbs. That's what they're playing. A lot of those people in Puerto Rico with their timeshares and stuff. It's terrible. Oh, man. Anyways, number 4, before we get to Sasha and Charlotte, really quick, what was your thoughts on the Roman KO match? Because that was one of the big no, you know what? Let me scratch that. We'll talk about that later. We had the brawl between Rollins and Jericho in the parking lot. What was your thoughts on that?
It reminded me a lot of like an Attitude Era backstage fight. So, because they don't do that stuff too much often, and I really liked it. I like when he pedigreed him on the roof, and all I'm thinking is, man, I feel bad for that guy with his insurance. Because he goes out there and he sees a big dent on his roof, shit. But I thought it was great.
I just found it perfect irony where the same night Jericho's like, Sin Cara was wearing the mask of Jericho, and it goes back to their fight, and then later on he's actually in a parking lot fight. The wrestler in the backstage area. I thought it was funny, and the fact he comes up with the mask of Jericho, put it on, man. Oh God, if this guy is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't know what that guy is, man. You can't deny stuff like this, man. I literally cry every time Jericho is on TV, man. It's too much. But it seems like Rollins is still getting a little bit more momentum as he's transitioning to this good guy character, I guess. It was something that was going to happen one way or another. I know sometimes we wish some of our greatest heels are just heels all the time, their whole career, but usually you guys switch it up once in a while. And me and Adam talked about this a couple months ago when Rollins was coming back from his injury. It was like we didn't want him to see him as a good guy because it would have fizzled out like after a month, and everybody be like, "Oh, I want him to be a heel again." You know what I mean? And then you're kind of getting that right now too. To be honest with you, I see some of that out there, but I think Rollins is improving as the weeks go by as a good guy, and I think that's going to be picked up a little bit once Triple H comes back to television.
I agree with that, Ronnie? Yeah, I do. Rollins is good no matter what he does. I mean, you don't need the preference of whether he's a heel or a face. The guy's just amazing regardless of anything he does. And yeah, when you said when Triple H comes back to TV, that feud's going to be amazing.
Hey, Starks, really quick, did you ever work with Rollins on the show before? Have you ever met him before?
No, I was on a show with Dean Ambrose before, but I never met Rollins. Yeah.
Nice. It's interesting. WWE just purchased the tape library of HWA, which was the training center for Mr. Moxley, Les Dasher's promotion. I thought that was interesting. You have any stories of HWA? Have you ever went to any of their shows or anything like that?
Never been there.
No. That's the Ohio area, for those that are wondering. Cincinnati. Going back to Raw, another outside the arena thing we had was my boy Sheamus and Cesaro just whipping up a bunch of Carolina indie dudes in a bar, which I thought was funny. The best part about it was seeing Tessa Blanchard in the background. Man, that girl is freaking hot. Good God Almighty. But I'm happy for these guys, man. Like, I understand Cesaro's frustration not being on the poster in Switzerland, but him and Sheamus are killing it as a tag team right now. I don't care what anybody says. I'm pretty sure they're doing this in spite of the company that they are still attacking after all this stuff, but they're making it work, and the crowd is actually reacting to it. So that's the good part in all of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who would have thought, man? If going back when Mick Foley said, "Yeah, you guys are gonna be a tag team," I remember we were all like, "Oh God!" And then, like, we're like 2 months into it now. We're like, "Okay, this is pretty all right. I like it." And, like, I love the bar fight, man. That reminded me of some APA shit, you know?
Oh yeah. Remember the friendly tap?
Yeah.
Happy there. You remember? I remember.
I remember.
We're talking about Monday Night Raw here at the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. What's your guys' thoughts on Raw from Charlotte this past Monday night? You know, it's so weird. You know how they do those B-roll shots of the arena? Like, every time they go to a different city, it's like always a new change of the arena name. Like, goddamn, make up your fucking mind.
Dude, I know, man. I would kill for them just to name the jeez, I can't even say it because it's so stupid. PBG Paints Arena. Just call it like the Civic Arena 2.0. Like cut some freaking slack in Pittsburgh. Or they could have just called it the PBG Arena because it'd be the Pittsburgh Arena. Like,
hey, since we're talking about Pittsburgh, I know this guy thinks he's over because he was color commentator the worst era of wrestling when it came to WCW, at least.
my God.
Is Mark Madden over? Because I know he's on the airwaves out there.
How am I? Oh, fuck it. I mean, it's Mark Madden. Like, last weekend, he was at a PWX show. It's Pro Wrestling Express. It's in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. He presented the new Women's Championship in the company. And I actually believe Tessa Blanchard's actually getting a title shot. I think that's what they're saying. But, yeah, dude, I don't know. I think he's an idiot, personally. I understand that that's his on-air persona, but he's a real douche. I never met the guy in real life. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I don't think in real life he's a douche. I just think, he plays a really good douche on the air. So
I know the mentality of watching a car crash and getting enjoyment out of that, but the fact that a guy like that gets clearance to be on a major network like iHeartRadio is kind of blasphemous to people who are actually talented at what they do. But this guy needs a 3 or 4 hour radio show. Give me a freaking break.
I mean, it's for us, it's a 105.9 The X.
Okay.
And the X really doesn't have any credibility because they play the same songs every hour on the hour, and it's not even new music; it's '90s music. And I'm like, guys, like, come on,
How many times I need to listen to Black Hole Sun? Damn it!
Right?
Oh man, I should bring up a Tool song too, but I don't want to get Adam upset. I love Tools, so let's not get anything started. I love Tools; they're the shit. So, anyways, next, go to the Roman and KO. That was one of the big matches on the show this past Monday night. So they are going to fight each other at Roadblock. There wasn't any cheap disqualification endings like that. Jericho didn't come out again during this match. It was what it was. I thought the only way it was going to make it work to buy in for the title match was to have Roman win here, and then you could have Owens win at Roadblock. Obviously, that's the story I think they're going with here. So it looks like Owens and Reigns will be in the main event of Roadblock. We talked about this a lot on Monday. I honestly think at the max, this will be a 2-month thing, and then they're done. Mm-hmm. I don't expect Roman Reigns to go into WrestleMania this year as the champion. Now, would I have a problem with it if he did win? No, because I'm not as crazy about the guy like everybody else is, where they want to like stab the poor guy if he wins any title. But at the same, I know, right? I was like, I you know, it's funny. I was talking about this last week on the show. Like, I've mellowed out at the age of 22, where I'm like, you know, I don't care. It's not going to affect my life anymore. You come to the part of your life where you really don't give a shit anymore. Mm-hmm. So like little stuff like that, like, oh, the guy's he's holding people down like Cena did. I like you need to realize wrestling's not for you at that point if you're coming up with that shit. But going back to this, I honestly think this Ronnie is either going to be a one-off or they'll probably have another match in the Rumble, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 2-month thing. He's not going to win the title, man. I mean, I'm going to make a Clerks 2 joke. You ready?
Nice. Let's do it.
Even Helen Keller can see that. Oh, no, even Anne Frank can see that Finn Balor is coming back at the Royal Rumble, and him and Kevin Owens are going to face each other at WrestleMania.
Brother. Bucket, brother.
Like, that's what everybody wants. That's what everybody knows what's going to happen. And they'll feud for 2 months, and then Roman Reigns will be the United States champion, and Kevin Owens will go face the Demon. Man, that's what everybody sees happening.
Do you like those angles when a guy is injured, but he comes back at the Rumble and just wins the Rumble and then gets a title shot like that? Because I gotta wonder from a wrestler's perspective, you're in the locker room, and it's unfortunate that injuries happen as part of the business. Like, you know what you're getting to when you sign up for this. But from a wrestler's perspective, you're still wrestling, you're busting your ass, you're humping the road, yet a guy who's been injured for 4 to 6 months just gets a title shot in his first going in the Rumble match. How would that be from a wrestler's perspective? Like, because I think it would be cool and it would work with the story. Because Owens brags that he's the longest Universal Champion of all time and all that, but Balor was the first one. Yet he had to vacate it. I don't know. It kind of gets mixy and kind of weird in this scenario, because I can understand for other guys in the roster that would like an opportunity at that title. Yet Balor just comes back from an injury. Oh, we'll just go back to the original way it was supposed to be after SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. Well, I understand that. I'm sure other guys are frustrated about it, but like, you have to look at it as the business standpoint of, well, like you said, this is how it was, and he's basically owed it because he never should have lost it to begin with.
True.
So when he comes back, he's going to get it back. It's just a matter of time when he does, and he's going to have to chase it for a couple months, but he'll get it. Even if he doesn't win at the Rumble, he's still going to get a rematch regardless because he's the former champ. So
I think the best part about this, and this is small to people, but it's a big deal to me, I think the cool part with Mania being in Orlando this year, as opposed to California a couple years ago where I went, the sun will not be beaming out, so you actually see the freaking entrance to its proper doing. Oh, man.
Yeah, I heard about the California experience. A couple of my friends went, so
yeah,
they told me that the sun was in their eyes like 90% of the time.
It was a hot one. a full baking session, to say the least. You know what's funny about that? Like you're out there for like 4 or 5 hours in this hot ass sun, yet you see Travis Barker out of nowhere playing drums with Skylar Grey, and like, oh, okay. and then the next thing you know, Russo comes out with a tank. I'm like, all right, this is worth it. And then Roddy, you know me being the big Taker guy, getting to see him come back after WrestleMania 30 was a big deal for me. So I thought that was pretty cool. Last thing, like on this Roman and KO thing, these guys got good chemistry. I think it's something where they'll have even a bigger and more longer feud as the years go by. But I think their pay-per-view match is gonna be freaking sick. I mean, the match on Monday was good. I didn't think it was bad or the greatest thing ever, but I could see these guys like bringing the best out of each other, and I'm pretty sure in real life those guys are competing with each other. You could, from KL's perspective, you could say that Roman is his obstacle to prove that he is the guy in real life and this stuff. So I think that element is going to bring a different dynamic to this match. So I'm very looking forward to this match at Roadblock. So really quick, the last one, the main event, Sasha and Charlotte. First off, I thought Foley made the right decision to call this off after the double countout because I mentioned this on Monday. We need to get Roseanne Barr's daughter off the screen. She's got to go. I'm tired of seeing her involved in these title matches. She's not helping it whatsoever. And originally, I actually thought Sasha and Charlotte was going to be the main event of the show this past Monday either way. But, you know, as a wrestling show, no matter if it's an independent show or a WWE or a TNA show, you could do creatively wherever the fuck you want in the time slot you're given during that time period, right? So you could have one match started off at the hour 2 part, but it be the main event of the show later on too. So that was a bother to me because that's just like easy promoter stuff that they could have that liberty to do that, but. I think it was the right choice to have the main event. It was a barn burner, man. It was an awesome match. The crowd was into it. I mentioned this on Monday. These two have already surpassed Lita and Trish. Yeah, I get it that Lita and Trish fought in the main event of Raw before, but I've never seen Lita and Trish's rivalry where they fought on multiple pay-per-views back to back to back like Sasha and Charlotte have. These two have surpassed them by leaps and bounds. It's not even close. Now, will they be able to do what Lita and Trish were able to do as characters? We'll see. You got to remember, guys, they've still only been part of the main roster for a year. It's kind of crazy. Think about that, guys. So you got to take it one show at a time. But when it comes to the hot potato thing, I mentioned this. Unless you have the right feud that fits a hot potato scenario, then don't do it. I thought it worked for Cena and Edge back in the day when they were doing their rivalry in 2006. It happened a lot with Orton and Cena in 2009. I just think you need the right people to do that. And obviously the story here is that, okay, Charlotte gets too cocky when when Sasha gets her title matches on Raw, and that's why she loses on Raw now. But when the big lights are on, and when it really matters on pay-per-view, Charlotte always prevails over Sasha. So that's the story here. I don't mind the hot potato thing because people still go nuts for these matches, and that's really what matters at the end of the day. Whether you like both of the girls or not, like I mentioned this before, I don't have a horse in this race, so it was fun being the moderator of the debate between Mitchell McNeil and Obsolete Mule a couple weeks ago, because I didn't have a horse in the race. Both women are phenomenal. They're hot. They kick ass. But my favorite on the roster was Paige. She has a neck injury, so I don't have a horse in the race anymore. You know what I mean? So I like to see probably. I think sooner or later they'll go in different directions. But here we go again. We're going to get into this WrestleMania season now, Ronnie, where I don't think you're going to get a SmackDown Women's title match. You might not get a Raw or SmackDown Tag Team title match. it's getting to that weird area now where I don't know. I just feel like we're going to go back to Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte, and then if they want to intertwine Becky for the 4 Horsewomen thing, then they'll go from there. I really don't know where they're going to go with this after what happened on Monday, but Sasha is the new women's champion. She made Charlotte tap out at the what do you call those? The arm rails, whatever
the arm rails.
Yeah, the big statement in the arm rails. I thought that was a pretty interesting spot. Ronnie, from your perspective, what was your thoughts on the match, and where do you think they'll go with here between Sasha and Charlotte?
I thought it was great. The thing is, like, those two have such great chemistry in the ring together, so you're pretty much guaranteed an amazing match, regardless of what they do. And it was fantastic. I love the finish. I was a little disappointed at first when they ended it in a double count out. I was like, come on, man. And then they went into the no DQ. It was incredible, man. And I think my expression to Charlotte winning the title was the guy. Remember that one guy who was sitting there and he was just like, he had a smile on his face. He's like, I don't know what to do because I'm so excited. The guy in the background of the show. So I was laughing at that guy. But that was my expression. I was just like, all right. But it was incredible, and I love them both so much. I hate when somebody says they don't like Charlotte. Like, oh, I hate Charlotte. I'm like, why? I'm like, she's a great talker. She's a great wrestler. She's gorgeous. Like, how could you hate her? Like,
I know, right?
It's like, it's impossible. They're fantastic, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for the women's division of Raw and where they go from here. I mean, we all know Bayley is going to end up being thrown in there eventually. But it's going to be fantastic. And Roadblock in Pittsburgh, yeah. Charlotte's going to win the title back in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
I think that'd be funny, though, because Sasha won the title in Pittsburgh, and you were at that show, actually.
I can see it happen twice, man.
That's funny. I like that. I was going to say, these two, and I don't think there'd be any argument here besides maybe the Owens and Zayn rivalry. I think this may be the rivalry of the year between Sasha and Charlotte. Maybe you could throw in Cena and Styles if you wanted to, but I think hands down this may be the WWE, at least WWE rivalry of the year between Sasha and Charlotte. And I think we only reaching the surface here. Now it's kind of different now because Charlotte is, I think she's 30, right? And then Sasha's, she just turned 24. So I think those two are going to be in the company for a while. I really do. You can tell they love wrestling. This is what they always wanted to do, and it's going to be very interesting, the dynamics when they switch when Sasha's the heel and Charlotte's the good guy. I want to see how that works out. That's going to be very interesting from my point of view. But, all right, overall, Raw, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. I wasn't that crazy about this week's show, but are you with any Raw particular show? You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good show, and I think they hit the right story points they needed to hit for Roadblock, and I'm pretty sure more matches will be made on next week's show in Austin, Texas. I think that's where the Raw is going to be next Monday. So the road to the PPG Paints Arena continues.
That name is just awful.
That's terrible. The word Charles Barkley. It's all good, baby. Oh God. Really quick, before we move on, just to let you guys know, I got a lot of play-by-play pieces I do for the Zone of Wrestle. Guys, go check that out. I put a lot of time and thought into these pieces. They're authentic. I do my best to give proper respect for where it's due to the talents, because especially for Ronnie's point of view, they forgot about wrestling more than I know in a lifetime. So it's the fun challenge for me to give acknowledgement and respect for what they put into these matches, storylines, etc., etc. That's the fun part of doing these play-by-play pieces. Just from a broadcast standpoint, getting to do these articles gives me confidence where maybe one of these days I could be a commentator. I never wanted to be a wrestler. I never wanted to be a booker. I just wanted to be a commentator and be part of the show. And doing these pieces has really helped me be more well-rounded with doing this broadcasting stuff, not only for this show, but just in general. And if given the opportunity, I think I would have a lot of fun with it. Actually, I think it'd be a lot of fun and get to side moves and the sequences. I have fun doing the pieces. I don't care if it's a WWE show or not, but I love doing these play-by-play pieces. And Ronnie, from a wrestler perspective, I know you don't care for the dirt sheets, and I don't blame you. And I don't write any of those rumor crap, you know that, brother. But from your point of view, do you mind the play-by-play pieces or no?
I read your stuff all the time, man. I don't mind your stuff, and I don't mind Derico's stuff, and because you guys are my boys. You know, you asked me to read it, I'm gonna read it. When it comes to idiots who think that they know, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna say this and this and this," and I'm like, "Stop," because you don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Like, fucking dirt sheets.
And, like, honestly, though, like, if there's something that I got wrong, I want to know. That's the thing. And I got to give credit to Mauro Ranallo because he's really helped me with the moves and stuff, too. And that's another important part to doing these pieces, that you do have to listen to the commentary on the show.
He's the man, though. Like, he is the best color commentary in the business, period.
Yes, he is. He is the man. Yeah, but Ronnie, if you ever see anything on my pieces that I need to redo or whatever, just let me know.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Anyways, speaking of Mauro, that's a good transition to go into 205 Live that happened last night on the WWE Network for $9.99. Overall, your thoughts on the debut of the show. I'll give my thoughts in a little bit, but Ronnie, I know you love the CWC like I did. It's going to be a very different transition period since they're doing these shows after SmackDown in the same arena, so it's going to have a different vibe to it. But from your point of view, what was your thoughts on the debut show last night?
I liked it a lot. I am a big fan of Tony Nese and Gulak. I don't like the Bollywood boys too much. I just think they're really hokey. But yeah, the Gulak and Nese are really good at what they do. And it was a good tag match for what it was. I really enjoyed Gallagher and Davari. Those dudes are freaking badass. And
nice.
I think Gallagher, and I'll talk about him until I'm blue in the face, because A, he's a ginger just like me, and he's a talented son of a bitch. So he's incredible. And the title match, like I told you earlier, I'm not a big fan of a ridiculous amount of false finishes, because what's a finish then if you're just going to kick out of it every time?
True.
But the fans got really behind the match. It was really good. It's good to see Rich Swann win the Cruiserweight title. I know we all agreed on the warm-up show that we wanted Brian Kendrick to retain the title.
Yeah.
But, Rich Swann, man, he's a badass. So,
yeah, and I love what's been going on with Kendrick, and I like I said on warm up, I wouldn't be upset if Swan won, because I think the guy deserves it, and you need I don't think it's always a requirement, but you do need some type of positive like feeling to come out of the show. You usually do want one of your main good guys, I guess, to win a major match on the debut show. So I thought that played out perfectly. As far as finishes are concerned, I agree with you, especially when, from my point of view, when I'm writing these pieces, when Brian Kendrick goes for like 4 or 5 different captain hooks, it's kind of like it comes a little bit desperate, but that's on the agents as well who come up with those sequences as well. So here's the thing, though, and here's something I wanted to ask you because you watched the Cruiserweight Classic like I did, but I wonder if they're purposely showing that the cruiserweights are doing a different style of wrestling than just the traditional spot monkey thing, just to make a point that cruiserweights are not just spot monkeys. Because every time on Raw or on pay-per-views, I saw people like, oh, they're holding the cruiserweights back from what they're doing, what they could do, or how their matches would be in the indies. But I see that they're trying to work more body parts, and they're actually trying to do some psychology with the cruiserweights. I don't know. Do you like the fact that they kind of slow it down, or do you want to see that spot monkeyness on the show? I don't know how to say it.
It's okay. The term spot monkey, I cringe every time I hear it.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
It pisses me off. But I'm okay with them slowing it down. And last night they proved the quick pace during that match. The question is, what do people want more? Do they want a quick pace, kick out whenever the hell we want, or they just want it slowed down and a nice storytelling technical kind of deal? It all depends on what the typical WWE wrestling fan wants out of it. I like fast-paced matches with the cruiserweights. I thought it was fun. So, like I said, it all depends on what people want to see. So.
And going to the AEW show I went to the other day, like I enjoyed the super fast speed type of matches as well. I also like those matches where you have guys working submission holds and stuff. I will say this though, this is my point of view from a fan perspective. I think they try too hard every single match to go to a side headlock. I don't know if it's a necessity to do a side headlock for every match. Maybe that's just for a cooldown period, so guys could set up what's going on next or whatever. But I just think they try a little bit too much with the headlocks, and not just the cruiserweights, but all the matches. Like, but that's just part of the basics of 101 stuff. So it's whatever. Going back to my thoughts on the show, I liked how they started off with the intro where they introduced every guy on the roster on the stage, and then they had the cool video packages, especially the one for Noam Dar. He's like, yeah, I'm a cool guy. Yeah, I'm not going to try to do what everybody else is doing, so you're going to like me or not. I'm going to be doing me. So he's like, if you're not with me, fuck you then.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
Speaking of who was awesome, I thought Austin Aries killed it last night on the commentary. Him, Morrow, and Corey Graves, good God almighty.
That's a team right there.
That is a team. I know Adam would love that team.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I think what he said about Kendrick, that was a whole loaf of bread. He said this was sucks.
Like, he was throwing out his one pun jokes, and I think everybody was trying not to laugh.
And what's interesting about this? He said it right out the gate during the intro of the show. Like, he's like, once I come back from my injury, I'm gonna go after that cruiserweight title. I thought that was very interesting to get that out of the gate. But Morrow and Corey got great chemistry. I kind of liked their dynamic together a little bit more than the one him and Daniel Bryan had, but that's just from broadcasting point of view. But I thought Bryan did a good job in the CWC. I'm not knocking the guy. I thought he did a really good job on that tournament. But him and Corey Graves is just it's a freaking man. If you want most improved guy of the year or whatever, I'll give it to him because when he first started doing the commentary on NXT, I really could give a flying fig to it, to be honest with you. I thought he was trying too hard to be at JBL, trying to be like JBL when he first started, but he really came into his own persona. I think the guy is freaking awesome. We talk about it every week. Corey Graves is good. He's the goods. Speaking of Gallagher, tying somebody up in a knot, I don't see that a lot with a lot of wrestling shows, but when it does happen, it's pretty freaking cool. Actually, it could be hokey to some people, but I think the crowd response, especially last night towards it, was really interesting. Toward the VAR.
What's great about it is, like, I don't think anybody realized or thought how to take this guy, and they're like, oh, look at this pasty ginger looking guy coming down here to and then everybody's like, what the shit? And then he does all his technical based stuff, and he ties him up in a knot and kicks him in the ass, and like the fans were like, okay, this guy's great.
One of the funny parts was that he did a handstand out of the side headlock, which I thought was freaking cool.
He's fantastic, man.
You know, him and Simon Gotch would have an interesting match.
Oh my god.
By the way, speaking of guys who has backstage heat over fighting in the back, you guys want to know why the Vaudevillains are not presented the same way they were in NXT? You could take Simon Gotch getting to a fight with Sin Cara in the backstage area. There you go.
Well, Sin Cara fights with everybody, so.
Yeah, Sin Cara. Hey, he doesn't give a fuck. I'll fight you. I don't care. Oh man, but 205 Live is gonna be interesting. I think they're gonna ditch the live element sooner rather than later. I think they will tape it before the show on SmackDown, and that's probably the smart thing to do after all that, because usually you want your dark match advertisement thing to close out that particular event, not another show. Like it would have been kind of weird, and I don't know if it happened or not, if they did like a dark match even after the 205 Live show. You know what I mean? That's a lot.
Yeah, that's like 5 hours of wrestling.
Yeah. So I think they'll record the show before SmackDown, and that's fine. Talking Smack, I thought was really good too, because Miz was hosting it with Renee Young yesterday, and he was just trolling Daniel Bryan the whole time, and Renee, he was telling Renee, "I'm not the Miz tonight. I'm Mike Mizanin." He's like, "Oh, how's it great for your general manager not to show up to the show tonight? What's the excuse?" And then, oh man, they were ripping into James Ellsworth. Bad. I'm talking Smack. Yes, it was kind of funny. I'll give it. We're gonna get to SmackDown in a couple minutes, because Ron, did you get to see SmackDown or no?
Yeah, I watched it.
You watched it, cool. Just one second, I'm gonna grab something really quick from great site. Not a great site, but Wikipedia nonetheless. Keep it 100. I'm going to pull up a card here, a match card, because coming up on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, we have Ring of Honor's final battle, returning to the Hammerstein Ballroom, or for those back in the day, the Hammerstein Ballroom.
I see what you did there. Berenstein Bears. I see what you did there. I remember.
I remember. The final battle is basically Ring of Honor's WrestleMania. This is the last show or last pay-per-view they do the calendar year, which is cool. The past couple of Ring of Honor pay-per-views have been okay. They haven't been off the charts or ever, but I enjoyed covering those pay-per-views. The guys on the rosters are good, and the fact that there's still that niche pocket of fans out there that keep this brand going for almost over 15 years now is freaking insane, and a lot of credit goes to the people that are still keeping Ring of Honor afloat over the years. Yeah, it's easy for them because they're owned by a broadcasting network as opposed to TNA, where they're trying to steal money from Canada. But
literally trying to steal money from Canada.
But I could be happy for those people in Ring of Honor. You find new people, you find some of the best stars from the entire wrestling landscape in this world on these shows, and I gotta say this. I know a lot of people are saying DIY versus the Revival are match of the year candidate, or at least tag team match of the year candidate. I will respond with Motor City Machine Guns, Young Bucks, and why is it escaping my head now? Damn you, Josh. The Addiction. They had a ladder war between those three teams. It was one of the best matches I've seen this year. It was a freaking barn burner. But anyways, let's get into Ring of Honor. We're not going to predict matches or whatever, but this is for anybody that wants to watch the show on Friday. I'll be covering that for the Zone of Wrestle. The Zone of Wrestle. First one off the gates, we got Motor City Machine Guns and Donovan Dijak. Shout out to him. He follows me on Twitter. He's a good fella. They're taking on the Cabinet, comprising of Rhett Titus, Kenny King, and Caprice Coleman. That's a faction. Starks. Number 2, you got a bad guy, Cole Cabana versus Dalton Castle, which should be interesting. I'm looking forward to that one.
Does he really call himself a bad guy, Cole Cabana?
No, but Cole Cabana did turn on Dalton Castle a couple weeks ago on Ring of Honor television, so I don't know. Maybe Officer Cole Cabana will come out. Silas Young versus Jushin Thunder Liger.
Oh man,
that's gonna be a good one.
You say Jushin Thunder Liger, I'm like, well, I'm gonna watch the show now.
Oh man, it's funny. The Jushin Thunder Liger Tyler Breeze takeover match. I watched that the other day.
That was fantastic.
Liger is the man. Speaking of really good guys, this is one of the main events of the show. Jay Lethal versus Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is making his Ring of Honor debut on Friday. Next one here, we got a 6-man tag team tournament final to crown the first ever Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, going back old WCW style. We have Kushida, Leo Rush, and Jay White versus the Kingdom, the new Kingdom, by the way, of Matt Taven, TKO Ryan, and Vinny Marsgala. I think I got his last name right. I like Leo Rush and Kushida. Those guys are awesome. I remember Kushida, a lot of his matches in New Japan. Shout out to Liz because she's probably the biggest New Japan mark out there remaining. Young Bucks versus the Briscoes for the World Tag Team titles. That should be a good one right there. Number 2, 4-quarter survival match for the TV title. Marty Scurll from the UK, the champion, taking on Dragon Lee, Will Ospreay, and Bobby Fish from Red Dragon. So I'm looking forward to that 4-way match. That's going to be a really good one.
Wasn't Will Ospreay like the TV champion for like a day? And then he lost it?
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of cool that Ospreay's getting a shot here at Ring of Honor, especially coming off that Vader rub. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's unfortunate to see what's going on with Vader, man. Keep Vader in your guys' thoughts, man. That freaking sucks.
Yeah,
anyways, the main event of Final Battle this year is a match that's been 3 or 4 years in the making, especially for the rivalry. They used to be tag team partners. Adam Cole defending the Ring of Honor World title versus Kyle O'Reilly. That's going to be the main event of Final Battle for Ring of Honor World Championship at the Hammerstein Ballroom. That's going on this Friday night. Check it out. Ring of Honor pay-per-view, Fight TV app, all that good jazz. Or you get to check out my piece at the Zone of Wrestle, and if you can't catch the show live either. So get that out of the way. I want to give a shout out to the people for AEW that just had like their big show of the year, Windy City Classic, this past Saturday night at the Logan Square Auditorium. Very fun show. It was funny. You ever heard of a wrestler named Congo Kong? No. Well, this dude is like 6'6". He has a mask. He's kind of like Kamala in the Midwest in a way. He has the weird makeup on his face too, but his manager looks like Jared from Subway. I put that on Twitter, and one of the guys from the social media that does this stuff for AEW came up to me and like we cried laughing in the backstage for 5 minutes. This dude literally looks like Jared from somewhere. I forgot his name, but
that's awesome.
First match of the show was Prince Ali, who's now on the 205 Live show. He took on ACH. You guys got to understand, when you're like literally 4 rows right by the ring, it's experience than you watching it even from a far section. Like watching it right there it's freaking cool. And that's not the funny thing, but the awesome part was that Ali clothesline ACH over the guardrail. ACH is in the crowd. So, Ronnie, I'm pretty sure you saw this spot before, right? Guy jumps into the crowd like that. So, Ali did a somersault plancha into the crowd, literally 2 rows in front of me. It's freaking awesome. Speaking of ACH, really cool guy. I've got to interview him before on my old radio show. So, you guys can check it out on this YouTube channel right here. Subscribe. Other than that, I saw Cole Cabana there. Scarlett Bordeaux, the hot ring announcer from Ring of Honor, was there, so that's always a good sight. Here's something that's going to surprise some people. I saw a really very good technical match from Zack Sabre Jr. and Trent Beretta. Trent Beretta is one of the most underrated wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. This dude is legit. The match they had was freaking awesome. Also, speaking of awesome, they had I was mentioning this on warm-up the other day. Eddie Kingston, Homicide, and Low-Key versus the Lucha Underground faction, the Drago, Pentagon Jr., Cerro Milo, and Brian Cage. That match was really good too, and Low-Key was actually pretty good, even though he was wearing the full suit game and everything. I thought he was actually not that bad actually, but it was kind of weird though. It looked like Low-Key pulled his knee in the early part of the match. I was like, shit, gotta be kidding me, right? This is the first time I've seen the guy wrestle in person for the first time ever, and then he just ended up having a badass sequence to end the match. So I thought that was cool. And then the main event of the show was Sami Callihan versus Chris Hero. That was a really good one. Chris Hero came out with a Bulls retro Jordan jersey, so he gets a lot of brownie points with me. So, Chris Hero, you're the man. But Sami Callihan is your AAW World Champion. And also I want to give a shout out to Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett, those Carolina boys from TNA. They won the tag team titles this past Saturday night. So overall, fun show at AAW. Ronnie, have you ever been to Chicago before?
I did sophomore in high school. I guess the last time I've been in Chicago. That was a long time ago. A long time ago.
For those that ever get a chance to come to Chicago, go to the AEW show. It's a lot of fun. It's totally different than a lot of different independent shows you'll go to, but AEW is a lot of fun. Let's get to SmackDown last night. Starting off with the women in the contract signing between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. You see on SmackDown that they give not a lot of leeway, but they have a lot of confidence in both Alexa and Becky to start off a show like that right off the gate on a SmackDown Live. I think that's very cool and it's special. They had their contract signing. Alexa, I put this in the article. Alexa said she'll call Renee if she needs bad fashion advice. It's just like, get out of the ring. And then Becky out of nowhere is like, saying the woman who rips off Harley Quinn every chance she gets. But I'm looking forward to this match. So it's going to be a tables match between Becky and Alexa, and we can intertwine our predictions for TLC if you want into this, brother. But overall, thoughts on the contract signing and who you got in this match?
I thought it was great, man. I love those girls so much. I love Alexa Bliss. like I said the other day on warm up, I saw her debut match in NXT and it was awful. But she's improved so much, and she's incredible. They both are, and I'm gonna go with you know what? Becky Lynch is gonna retain the title on Sunday.
Was it even Marie bad?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, she was.
Oh man. Oh boy. Nonetheless, it's kind of cool that she's actually improved. And a lot of misperceptions. A lot of the women there, like, oh, they're not wrestling fans, but Alexis actually was a big wrestling fan, and so it's kind of cool to see what she's doing. And she's one of the more improved characters that I've seen. I've enjoyed a lot of her work over here more than the stuff she was doing with the Blake and Murphy crap in NXT. Honestly, I didn't give a flying fig doing about that. Everybody thinks every gimmick in NXT is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And a lot of them it's good. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy NXT, but some of you guys are kind of raving lunatics when it comes to that show. Just keeping it 100.
I mean, you're not lying.
But I'm going to go with Becky as well. The one thing is, though, TLC pay-per-views usually come up with some surprising booking decisions. Like, Sheamus beat John Cena when Cena was like Super Cena. I remember that. It was a tables match at the TLC a couple years ago. Sheamus won the WWE title, so I would not be surprised if Alexa won here since it's a tables match. And honestly, I wouldn't have a problem with that, to be honest with you. But either way, I think these two are gonna kill it. Hopefully, these two can steal the show. Possibly, who knows? Next one here, we got a tag team match between Kalisto and Dolph Ziggler versus Miz and Baron Corbin. Two intertwining feuds intermingling with each other since they're fighting at the pay-per-view. That happens a lot. Dolph Ziggler, this was a really good match, actually. I enjoyed it. Dolph Ziggler, Kalisto won via disqualification because Baron Corbin hit Kalisto really hard in the back with the chair. Baron Corbin obviously symbolizing because, oh, yeah, we need a chairs, man. Yeah, we need a chairs match, Ronnie. We need to get it. But Baron Corbin's taking on Kalisto for the chairs match. I know we talked about this yesterday. The feud in itself is what it is. I could give a flying fig dude, to be honest with you, when it comes to the feud, but I think the match will be fine. I think Baron Corbin will win here, but it was just weird dynamics because this feud was supposed to happen a couple of months ago, but Kalisto got injured, and then he just comes back and costs Baron Corbin's spot in the Raw vs. SmackDown Survivor Series match. So either way, I'm going to go with Baron Corbin this one. How about you?
Yeah, definitely going with Baron Corbin. The guy's great. You can't go wrong with heel Baron Corbin.
He's getting better, man. I think the guy is coming into his own. I think he's going to be a big player at their next year's, not next year's, but this upcoming WrestleMania. So I'm looking forward to it. As far as the next one, Miz and Dolph Ziggler for the IC title in the ladder match. No, I do not expect Daniel Bryan to come down to the ring and cost Miz the title. If that happens, then Daniel Bryan is fighting at WrestleMania. But I'm going to go with Miz here. The rivalry has been great. That's another rivalry that could be considered rivalry of the year, Miz and Dolph Ziggler. These two have been killing it. Could be happy for both guys, but Miz will walk out of Dallas with the Intercontinental Champion, just like he did in the same building that he won the Intercontinental Championship the night after WrestleMania when he beat Zack Ryder. Tie it back full circle, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I decided the game. He freaking humps. But I'm going to go with the Miz here. Miz will retain the IC title.
And I'm going to agree with you 110%.
Do you think Miz and Ziggler should close out the show, Ronnie?
No.
No? Okay. No. I saw a lot of people were like, oh, they should close out No Mercy a couple months ago when Ziggler's career was on the line. But AJ and Ambrose is the right choice to close out the pay-per-view. I agree on that. Other big part of SmackDown last night was the continuation of the partnership between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Looks like there's be some tension growing between Orton and Harper, which I like because I think Orton and Harper can have some badass matches with each other. It looks to be like Harper's on his way out of the Wyatt family, which could be the best thing for him at this point. The Wyatts defeat American Alpha in the main event of SmackDown last night, which I thought was a very, very good match. The Wyatts are now taking on Heath Slater and Rhino for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I think it's pretty foregone conclusion that the Wyatts are going to get those straps on Sunday. Ronnie, what was your thoughts on the match, the main event last night, and do you think they'll win on Sunday?
It was great. I'm glad that closed out the show yesterday. Yeah, dude. Bray Wyatt is so overdue for a title run, it's ridiculous. And if his first title is going to be a tag title, then hey, that's fine. Hey, give the man his due. It's time.
Mankind's first title run in the WWF history fact was a tag team title run with Vader. Yep. There's a lot of parallels between Mankind's early WWF run to Bray Wyatt right now. But that's gonna be an interesting dynamic too, because people are into Heath Slater and Rhino. Like people are genuinely excited for those matches when Heath Slater and Rhino are out there. I know people still have that member Barry's ECW thing. I remember Rhino. But one of the key parts of SmackDown that I enjoyed the most out of everything on the show was the Ambrose Asylum with Styles and James Ellsworth. AJ Styles is like, he's not going to allow Ambrose to make him look like a joke anymore, and he points out the fact, like I did on warm-up last night, that Ambrose was the only reason why Ellsworth won the last 3 matches, and then AJ Styles just beat everybody up, which I thought was cool. Even for being a James Ellsworth guy, I gotta admit it was freaking awesome seeing Styles kick Ellsworth's ass. To be honest with you, the Styles clash off the steel ring steps was freaking nasty. Ellsworth was taken out in the ambulance. So that spot was nasty, man. Very, very nasty, but effective nonetheless. I think that was the best part of of this particular setup for the match on Sunday. Ambrose will be taking on Styles in the TLC match. That's your annual TLC match, ladies and gentlemen, which is not going to be a problem because these two guys are freaking kill it. But Ambrose, Styles, who you got? I'll go first. I'm going to go with Styles here, but I'm going to go with, I think you said this, Ronnie, yesterday, but I think James Ellsworth is going to turn on Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen, but, yeah, I'm going to go with AJ too, man. AJ's not losing on Sunday. Absolutely not.
I couldn't forget about this because this is kind of funny. I thought Carmella did the best stuff of her career last night. Again, I think she's just. I get it. She's kind of copying and ripping off what Sam does on a lot of the shows about Nikki Bella, and it's not a bad playbook to go out of. I'll admit that, but Carmella's like, "Oh, John, I apologize in advance. What I'm going to do to your girlfriend at TLC. We're going to get to the point where there will be no wedding, and E Network will have to cancel season 2 of Total Bellas." I think that match is going to be pretty physical between Nikki and Carmella. That one's been brewing for a while. So, overall, what was your thoughts on SmackDown last night? Anything that you was on your mind that you liked, or anything else that you didn't like on the show?
It was okay, man. It was a quick 2 hours, honestly.
It went by fast. Yeah, it went by really fast yesterday. It caught me by surprise. I gotta wonder if your USA Network as you're reaching towards the middle part of your TV contract and you see what's going on with WWE Network and they're making more money now. Crazy, they're making more money now with the company, Roddy, now than they did in the Attitude Era. with this network and stuff. You gotta wonder now, with SmackDown Live being successful on USA now, and people are enjoying the show. And people don't talk about this enough, but USA is the one that really wants Raw to be 3 hours. They want that third hour programming on Monday nights. Raw is still the highest rated show on the network each week for USA Network out of all their bevy of terrible shows. But I kind of wonder if you're USA Network, are they just happy with the money that's coming in from Monday Night Raw and they don't really care the fact that the show is 3 hours, or would they even consider going back to 2? Because it works for SmackDown. Why can't it work for Raw?
Hey, man, it's all about money. If they're getting that money intake, they don't care.
Plus, honestly, any wrestling promotion, are you going to deny the money that will come in for a girl?
Sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
But overall, I thought SmackDown was okay too. I agree with you, Ronnie. It's gonna be fun. I think these are really start picking up for the company, especially after Christmas. I think TLC will be fun on Sunday. We'll see what happens at Roadblock. And then, before you know it, be the New Year's. This year's going by so freaking fast. But one last thing before we head out here, Ronnie, you have any events coming up soon? What's going on with you as far as your wrestling adventures and stuff?
I have a show Saturday, and Saturday I have a show. So it's at a rundown mall.
A rundown mall?
Century 3 Mall. I guess I gotta be more specific. So, yeah, it should be all right, I guess.
Is that with the Code Red Wrestling show?
Yeah. I love how, you can tell how, not excited I am. I'm like,
hey, man, I don't know. You go to a rundown mall or you watch reruns of bad episodes of Walking Dead or something. I don't know.
Oh, speaking of bad episodes of Walking Dead. Wow. Sundays was awful.
Let me ask you this, because Walking Dead obviously is probably one, if not the biggest show on television besides Game of Thrones, right? So Walking Dead has a big following, but I see a lot of people complain about Walking Dead just as much as they complain about wrestling. Do you see that type of element with Walking Dead too, or no?
I feel like it's the same fan base, man. It's when you have the mid-season finales coming in 2 weeks, okay?
Okay.
And the past 2 episodes were garbage. They need to step the fuck up because it's bad. So, I'm disappointed. I was disappointed the last 2 weeks, dude. Nobody asked for a whole Terror episode. It's not like I woke up one day and I'm like, hey, I wonder what Terror's doing. I don't care.
Oh man, I guess for me the saving grace for this Walking Dead season so far, besides the opening episode, was the Walking Dead Chappelle stuff on SNL, because that was gold.
It was.
I like 2 pieces. My mom feels dry. And then they had the white anchor, the anchor man. He's like, all lives matter. All lives matter. Don't. When I saw Negan and the player haters interact with each other, it was my favorite thing in television this entire year. I was crying, laughing so hard when I saw that for the first time.
Dude, Dave Chappelle's the man, plain and simple.
Clayton Bigsby too. I smell frustration in cocoa butter. Like, really, bro? That's messed up, man. On that note, thank you guys so much for checking out this week's Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. We made our predictions for TLC. That's going to be fun. On Sunday, I'll be doing that article as well. Check out Ring of Honor Final Battle if you got nothing to do on Friday night. Go check it out. It's going to be a good pay-per-view. Good stuff for wrestling all around, not just the WWE. So support your independent companies, support other wrestling promotions out there, and support wrestling podcasts that are genuine at the end of the day. That's all I can ask for the good people out there. If you want to if you're a cynical prick in life, then I can understand. There's 100 wrestling podcasts that are catered to you, and I could write it down in the description box in this YouTube channel so you can find them, so I can help you out on that end. But we're here to have fun. Is there stuff that we like or dislike? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, we're having fun with the stuff. At the end of the day, that's what it's supposed to be. So, Starks, brother, thanks for coming on, my man.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Always a pleasure, man, you know?
Follow Ronnie on Twitter at Starks Wrestling. You can see him on the warm-up of wrestling with the obsolete mule, Derrickle, Brother Carter. I'll be back on the airways on Friday with the Pipe Bomb with McCool and Company on the New Age Insider Center, if you guys want to check that out. I am the side piece to Mitchell McMule's show and his ranting and raving styles, because his girl Sasha won the title again, so I guess we're having another party on Friday, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Besides that, support our good friend Liz Rainey at Lost in Stereo Liz on Twitter as well. Shout out to the good brother Adam Daly at Adam Daly 13 and Sam at Twitter at LadyNext13 as well. So for Ronnie, I'm Josh. You can follow me on Twitter at Notorious Joshy. Make sure to like this video, subscribe here on this YouTube channel. You get our previous episodes of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast exclusively on YouTube. Thanks to Podomatic being a bunch of bitches and not allowing me to upload all my shows on there. You damn humps. Let's break it down the fourth wall here, Ronnie. That's the place where I upload my shows onto iTunes. So these douchebags won't even allow me to upload all my episodes. Oh, you need to pay $40 a month in order to get full storage. Like, screw you. But nonetheless, if you want an audio version of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast, like I mentioned before the show started today, I'm going to be doing some production elements added onto the audio version of the show. So if you guys want to check it out, subscribe to the show, Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. Leave a review, 5-star, 4 stars, I don't care. We just want an honest review of what you like with this particular show. Do you enjoy it? Tell a friend about it. That's all I can ask for at the end of the day. Your support means the world to me, and I have a blast doing this fucking show. So, Starks, man, thanks for coming on again, and thank you guys for checking out episode 31 of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. Back next week to talk about TLC and all that jazz, and Roadblock will be heating up for sure. So, see you fuckers later. Peace.